Hey guys, Socket here. Today we're going to continue on with our PC tool tutorials. This is number 11 in the series, and today's episode is on using the Helix real-time analyzer tool to do some car auto tuning. So we've got some pink noise on my iPhone. Basically it's the file that we've downloaded from the Audio Tech Fisher sound files. It's here under the RTA tab. You can use pink noise uncorrelated, and you can use either the WAV or MP3 file. It doesn't really matter. So load that up on your phone or into your head unit, however you're going to play noise through your sound through your speakers. We've got a microphone connected up to the laptop, so I'm using a UMic 1, which is the mini DSP microphone UMic 1. It's a USB mic, just plugs in via USB-C straight into the laptop. And I've also got my DSP hooked up to the laptop, and my car turned on to auxiliary. So we're ready to connect up, so I'm going to use preset number 10 for this tutorial. And here we are. So here we are in the familiar Outputs tab. We'll be spending our time, if you click on the upper right, in the Real-Time Analyzer tab. If you haven't watched my tutorial on the RTA tool, go and have a look at that first, because it explains all the settings and features and things. But today's tutorial is on how to use it to actually do some auto tuning. So the very first thing we're going to do is just make sure that we get rid of any EQ filters or any boost that is already on in your settings. So we'll go to reset, we'll click on reset output equalizer and reset channel gain and hit OK, and that should get rid of, if we just click down here and then back again, you'll notice that all of those EQ settings and all the channel gains have now reset back to 0. Okay, the next setting that we just want to double check is under the device configuration menu, which is the second tab along, and you want to click on this tab called PC tool configuration and double check that the EQ link mode is set to relative, and that will just make sure that the auto EQ feature in the RTA tool can work the way it should. Once you've double checked that, we go back to outputs, and we just want to double check that all of our speakers have crossovers set. So if you're not sure how to set crossovers or what they are, go and check out the crossover output tab tutorial that I've done in this series, and that will explain what they are and how to set them up. But essentially you want to make sure that your speakers are not going to play something that they're not designed to play. So for example, if I'm looking at the tweeters, that they're not going to play a whole bunch of low frequency notes. They're only going to play the notes that are colored in green and being protected by the crossover filters. So just double check that that everything's got a crossover set on them. The next thing I just want to have a look at is the how to select speakers, mute speakers, link speakers together, and how to display their responses. So along the top are all your speakers. So in this case, left tweeter, right tweeter, left mid, right mid, left low, left mid bass, right mid bass, etc., etc. And they're on outputs A, B, C, D, E, etc. And this little orange LED indicates which speaker is displayed in the panel down here. But just clicking on it doesn't mean that it's actually active or playing. You need to look at this table here, or this grouping here. So to actually turn a speaker on and off, you literally left click it like this. So I'm now turning on and off my left high speaker, or I can turn on both tweeters. and my left and right mids. So that's how you turn speakers on and off. This is how you select speakers to view their settings in the menu. So let's say that I wanted to tune the left side of my car. I can actually link speakers together. So I want my left tweeter, my left mid, and my left mid bass. Okay, I want all of those speakers to be worked on together, and I can actually now activate those on channels C and E. So now that when I play my pink noise, it will come out of the tweeter, the left mid, and the left mid bass. And when I do the auto EQ feature, the tool will auto EQ all of those three speakers together. If I only want to do one speaker, so for example the left mid, I would unclick these, just leave the left mid playing, and make sure that I mute all the other channels except the left mid. So now when I play pink noise, it'll only come out of the left mid speaker, and the EQ will only be applied to my left mid bass EQ settings. Now this is important because if you have the wrong speaker playing or the wrong speaker selected when you're doing your EQ work, it will put the EQ adjustments onto the wrong speaker, and yeah, anyway, nobody wants that. So we're going to start by just making sure all of that's unlinked, and just start off with our left speaker as an example. And let's go and have a look at the RTA tool now. Okay, so to access the RTA screen, we click on the RTA button up in the upper right, and this takes us to our familiar RTA tool. We click here just to maximize the screen, and we want to make sure that we are set in Tune EQ to start with. We have our reference curve turned on here, and we're just going to flick back and set up our measurement for a subwoofer instead of a tweeter. So what we're going to do is turn the tweeter off, turn on our subwoofers so we can see them, and pop down here, turn those both on. So now we've got it'll be set up to play sound through the subwoofer. Okay, we just make sure everything else is looking fine. Okay, so maximizing this again. So how do we go about taking a measurement? Well, we're going to need our pink noise and our microphone ready. We're going to make sure that we're set to, if we're manually tuning, to tune EQ. If we're automatically tuning, we're going to set it to auto set, but I'm going to show you manual tuning to start with. Make sure the screen is properly maximized. There we go. Now what we're going to do is tune our subwoofer, and if I click on channel filter target mode box here, it'll take me from the full house curve to just the house curve for the subwoofer. And this reflects the settings of the subwoofer here in the up page. So if I change my frequency like this and pull it up to, I don't know, 140 for argument's sake, and I go back to the RTA, you'll notice that the curve has changed. So the first thing we're going to do is start the pink noise. So here we go. Click on the pink noise. Now you can hear it coming through the sub. We're going to start the analyzer, and we're going to see whether the levels are high enough for the system to EQ. And I'll just shut this pink noise down. So we're going to take a very brief measurement just to check the levels, because the system won't EQ if the measurement and the house curve are too far apart. It'll just go, whoa, I can't boost that much, or I can't cut that much. So so we'll do a quick measurement first off. So we'll hit Start Analyzer. We'll hit start measurement. You'll see the countdown starting to go down, and we'll just check whether our levels are right. And if needed, we'll go into this tab here and adjust this measurement curve offset slider. Okay, so that's what we're up to. So start with the pink noise. There we go. It's coming through our speaker. We hit start analyzer. You can see the analyzer starting to work. Now we hit start measurement. It will ask us, are we sure these are the channels that we want to work on? The answer is yes, they are. And of course, now you can see the white measurement, and it's way too low. The counter's going down, doesn't matter. So we need to go over to our sliders and just lift this up so that it's more in line with the target curve, right? So maybe a little bit more, maybe there, right? It looks fine. You'll see that it'll cut all this area, and make that nice and smooth. Okay, so the measurement has now stopped. The countdown's reached 0, so you can turn off the RTA. Okay, the next thing to check is the EQ band. So down here we can set the range that we want to do the EQ for. So in this case from 40 Hertz to 182. So from roughly here to 182 sounds about right, but you can set whatever you like. The problem is if you set it way over here at 30, the system's going to have a hard time boosting that up to the target line, so it will come back and say, oh, I can't really do that deviation, target failed, or some warning message like that. So it's going to have a chance to sort of work from, what have we got there, let's say 42, and let's make it, instead of 180, let's make it 170 for argument's sake. So double click down here, and so make that 170, hit enter. Okay, so now let's take our proper measurement. I'm going to, the analyzer's already working, you can see the red button, but you can start the analyzer, start the measurement, hold or wave the speaker from around your head. Just double check to make sure that level is green. Doesn't matter if it turns a little bit orange, but we need the level high enough for the measurement to actually be valid. And then we'll just wave the microphone until the timer reaches 0, and then we can turn off the pink noise, and then we can look at the EQ section. So here we go, starting the pink noise, starting the measurement. Okay, the measurement timer has reached 0, so we can turn the pink noise off, and the measurement has is frozen. If we want, we can store that by right-clicking on memory slot 1. And so now we're going to EQ this measurement. So what we do is click on EQ calculation, and you will see that we get a green line here, which is the EQ that's going to be applied to this particular speaker. And if we go and have a look at the speaker now, you will notice that no EQ has been applied. All we've done is calculated it. So we go back to the RTA. We now click on this button called Set EQ, which will transfer the EQ that's just calculated to the output page. So now let's go and have a look at it. And bingo, you can see the EQ has now been set to that subwoofer 2. Okay. So now we go back to the RTA. Now we want to double check how close did we get to the target line using that that EQ calculation that we just did. So what we do is we take another measurement, but this time when we put on the pink noise, we're going to get a pop-up warning asking us whether we want to reset the EQ or whether we just want to take a measurement. Now we want to click on just take a measurement. We don't want to wipe the EQ settings out. We're just checking to see if these EQ settings worked. So here we go, on with the pink noise. Starting the measurement. Right, so here's the pop-up. Now I just want to measure it. I don't want to reset. Waving the microphone. Right, the time has reached 0, and there's our measurement. I can save it in measurement 2. Whoops. Right click on measurement 2. And so now we have the original measurement in red and the measurement with the EQ applied by the tune EQ calculation. And you can see, you know, that's a pretty good match. Alright, so with the one of the subs done, let's go and have a crack at one of the tweeters. So we go back into the output channel, we're going to turn our subs off, we're going to turn our left tweeter on, and just highlight it so you can see there's no EQ. We go back to the RTA, here we go, and we just double check that here in the channel selection that we've just got the tweeter on and nothing else linked. That looks fantastic. Okay, so same thing, we run the pink noise, start the measurement, make sure that the level is close to our target, remeasure it. So here we go, start the pink noise. Yes, you want to use channel 8. And the levels aren't too bad. Good, so we can stop the measurement. We're just checking the levels. So that's fine. You can see that's rolling off over here, which is, you know, just a feature of the speaker or the mic or something. But now we want to look at the EQ range. So it's running from, you know, 2000 through to, you know, 16,000, so that's not too bad. You know, we might want to make that 10,000 because the system may not be able to boost all of that, you know, from 16, but you know, 10,000 should be able to boost that bit up. And we want to make sure it's in a range that it can actually affect. So let's take a measurement. So here we go. We'll start. We're waving the mic around. Okay. Time has hit 0. Let's save that as measurement 3 by right clicking. We hit tune EQ. And set EQ. So it's now should be transferred into the into your EQ for your left tweeter, as it is. And go back to the RTA and open that up, maximize it again. Alright, so with the EQ set, we're going to take another measurement and check it. Here we go. So pink noise on. Start the measurement, just measure it this time. Okay, the measurement's hit 0 again. Turn the pink noise off, and so let's save that into measurement 4. It's in yellow. So once again, the green is the measurement before EQ, the yellow is after EQ. That's hugging the target line beautifully. So bingo, I now have my left tweeter EQ'd. And you can just work your way through all of your speakers one by one. to EQ them in this fashion. So that is manual EQ. Now I'm going to take us through the auto set feature, or the auto tuning feature of the tool. Okay, and now we're going to have a look at the auto tuning feature of the RTA tool. So once again, we click up there to get into the RTA window, and we maximize up the screen. So this time we want to go and into the setup tab with a little gear icon and set this to auto set. We also just want to get rid of this channel filter target mode so that we can see the whole house curve. And what we're going to do is look at how you use the auto tune feature. And the first thing that you'll notice is it still has start analyzer and start measurement, but this time, and the EQ range, but this time it has an auto set button, and I'll explain what it's going to do. So instead of taking a measurement and adjusting the EQ and remeasuring to check it, the system's going to go through its own number of rounds, iterations, which can be found under here, under this extended setting. So at the moment we've got it set for 5 iterations of 10 seconds duration of each. Okay, and we want it to be within plus or minus half a dB of the target curve, right, which is pretty tight. So let's go back, but just want to, if you want to do more iterations or less iterations, you can change that in the extended settings. So this time we're going to try auto EQing the whole left front stage of the car together. So first of all, we need to go and set that up. So we'll go to our output tab. We're going to select all of the front speakers, so the left tweeter, the left mid, and the left low. So they're all linked together, so the sound, so they will all be tuned together by the auto EQ system. And we're going to make sure they are all turned on. So channel A, output channel C, and output channel E. So you can see them, A, C, and E. So now we have these 3 channels linked, and we have those speakers all turned on. And we go into the RTA, maximize it again, and just on the channel settings, just double check that everything else is turned off and only those 3 are on. Okay, fantastic. So now we can start the auto tuning process. So once again, we're going to just start the analyzer and quickly start the measurement. You'll see the countdown timer starting to count. So we're going to turn our pink noise on now. Start our measurement. You can see our measurement's way lower than the target line. So we had to bring our adjust this slider to get our measurement to follow that target curve as best as we could. So just double check it one more time, starting the pink noise. Probably come down just a fraction, so let's bring it down a little bit, double check it. Okay, that's in a pretty good spot. Alright, so now we're sort of set up to do the auto timing stuff. You can check here, see how many rounds it's gone through, so we've no rounds. And we want to make sure that we're once again setting up the EQ range. So at the moment it's set from 2000 to 1600, and so it's only going to affect this part. We actually want it to do the whole range. So you know, from, where are we here, about 90, let's call it 100, through to, I don't know, let's call it 13,500. So change this to 100 and this one to 13,500. There we are. Okay, so now we're going to start the measurements. Start the pink noise, sorry. We're going to hit start measurement and then we're going to hit auto set and just watch what happens. The system's told us that it's matched the target line in conjunction with that plus or minus half dB target that we set, or limit that we set. So here we are. So it's following the target line pretty well. You know, it's not much in it. These are 2 dB increments here. If we can probably change that. Just have a little look. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty flat, right? So now when we can store that in measurement 1, and if we go to here, you can see that it has automatically put the EQ in for all of those 3 speakers. Okay, now that we've done the left hand side, we can now do the right hand side. So let's just unlink all of these. And now select our rights. So we want to make sure that these are all little orange buttons over our right tweeter, right mid bass. We can now get rid of these things and turn off the left hand side and turn on the right tweeter, the right mid and the right mid bass, and just make sure nothing else is turned on. Excellent. Now we can go back into the real-time analyzer, go down here to our little gear icon, make sure that we're still in auto set, check the channel settings to make sure that we've only got those right hand speakers turned on, which we do. So now we're ready to do our right hand side. So we're going to hit the pink noise. Start measurement. Now we're going to auto set. Yes. And we made microphone around. And there we go. It's done its thing. We'll store that into measurement 2 for argument's sake. And so there's our red is the left hand side, right is the right hand side. There's some funky stuff going on here, a couple of dB difference, which you can manually fix up, I guess, if you want to. But if we go down and once again look at our right hand side, the system has put in the EQ bands, but for some reason it hasn't EQ'd this one, which is odd. So what happened there? Oh, of course, when we look at our tuning range, it's set from 1820 to 1600, so it's only EQ'd this portion, which explains why this is still a mess. So rookie mistake. Let's go set that at 80 to, so should always check this range. That's a good lesson. Through to 16,000, and let's try that one more time. So all the speakers are selected. Put it into full range mode so that we can see it properly. And let's start the measurement again. So pink noise on. We're going to take up to 5 measurements. The range is set correctly now. We'll hit start measurement and then we'll hit auto set. There we go. Did 5 measures and it's reached the target. We'll save this in memory block 3. So if you remember, the red line was our left, the blue line was our right hand side when we forgot to set the range properly. Now that the range is set properly, and I get rid of the blue line, look at that. The left and right are perfectly on top of each other, and so all of those 3 speakers are EQ'd together. Look at that. Fantastic. Alright, so that's how you use the auto EQ function. I just want to show you one last thing while we're here. I'm going to unlink all of these channels again and turn all of the speakers off and get rid of all the plots. And I'm going to take us back to the front high. Get rid of that one. So now I'm on the front left tweeter, and I'm going to reset the EQ bands just to give you a little demo. So that's now gone, and I'm going to pretend to auto EQ a single speaker. So I'm going to turn this speaker on, go into the RTA, maximize that. Now I've got a single speaker turned on, I'm in auto set, I turn on my channel filter. I'm just going to get rid of these things here. And we're going to have a crack at auto tuning the left tweeter. So turn on the pink noise, start measurement, hit auto set. Yes, this is the channel we want. And you'll automatically notice that it has trouble hitting the target curve for the tweeter. Right? Notice that it's over here, it's missing the tweeter completely. So I'm just going to stop it. So why was that happening? And the short answer is it's trying to follow this target line. It's not picking, it's not trying to follow this target line, it's trying to follow the target line here. And so that's why you ended up with that little blip sort of coming off, this side. And you might be wondering, oh, well, I'm trying to auto EQ a single tweeter, a single driver. Yeah, so it, as I said, will try to follow the house curve. So if you get confused by that, I'm sure there's a way around it, but it's easier to use the manual tuning EQ function than auto tuning to do single drivers, in my opinion. So that brings us to the end of the tutorial on the use of the RTA tool in the software, and we'll give you the knowledge of how to equalize the raw response of your speakers so they can follow a house curve. But that said, it doesn't mean that you've finished your audio car audio tune, because we still have to do time alignment, which is using the time alignment tab here and looking at the auto time measurement tool in the PC tool software. So that's going to be the topic of our next tutorial. So thanks for hanging in there. It was another big video. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to you joining me in the next video where we look at the time alignment features.